We are live. What is up, everybody? Let me pull up the peer roll that we use as a background here while we don't have anything up on screen. Welcome to Freefall Podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the rabbit hole of gaming and streaming.
What is up with my camera?
I don't know what's up with Batbeard's camera. I mean, look at that thing.
No, his camera is messed up.
It's gone absolutely
Oh my
wild.
gosh.
Batbeard's camera.
happening there?
I don't know. It'll fix itself shortly, guys. Give it just a minute. The app is acting up
Let's hope.
ever since they
Let's
added a
hope that.
forced login. It's acting up with the browser capture. But
So silly. It's weird.
so today we are talking about mental health awareness, and how mental health affects content creators. Some key points for today. I haven't made the roll, so I'll have to make that in a little bit here. Is why mental health is an important topic. How has it affected our streams? We're going to tell you some of our own stories. We're going to let some of our guests tell their stories. I believe a couple, my buddy Ichi might hop in and tell us some stuff. How we believe that mental health can and has affected streamers and their communities. We're going to give y'all some resources. And then, of course, we're going to have possible other guests hop through. And then we will have an open speaking time so that anyone that is in the chat who wants to hop into the Discord with us and talk about their story or talk about their thoughts on anything we've talked about, we'll have that moment to talk. And it just kind of gives us an ability to kind of interact with the community. Eventually, that will probably end. We probably won't have that free speak time. But for now, it's all right since we're just getting started and we kind of want to interact with you guys a little bit better than just through the chat. So welcome in. We are going to get started with why mental health is an important topic. So before anything else, I'm going to let me double check what this command name is real quick. Cuz I did just add a command. No, I added a timer.
You're smart.
I'm fucking super smart. So, I'm about to post in the chat a site. This website, the link that I just posted in chat, is a website with a lot about suicide awareness and with the suicide hotlines for every state in the union, along with, of course, I believe all of those are actually have already been or are going to be under a single number. I believe they were making that 811 or something. Because they were going to make an emergency, like a proper emergency number channel for it. But that's also, I know somewhere in there's also some of the suicide hotlines for some other countries. So if you're not in the US, of course, might be some resources in there for you as well. But yeah, so we're going to get started here. 811 is an agricultural thing. You spoon. Yeah, I forget what it is. Carter, if you want to look it up, you can.
I can't remember what it is either. I know it has 2 1s in it.
Might be a 411.
It might be because the 811 is dig. If you call 811, it's for if you're digging something in your property.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
That's weird that they would have a number for that.
Unless that's 711. I don't know.
But like, yeah, if we could double check that number so we can have it available. But I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna talk about why I believe talking about mental health is important as a streamer. And I'm gonna have to lay out the foundation here, guys. I have been diagnosed with a lot of things, misdiagnosed multiple times. My current diagnosis is ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, PTSD. Along with a couple of others that I can't remember the name of exactly. But along with that, I'm also dyslexic. So mental health is important to talk about, in my opinion, because mental health can so heavily affect how a streamer acts and how a streamer streams. So, for example, like sometimes we'll disappear for long periods of time in a depressive slump. 3.5 years. Or 2.5 years, I stopped streaming completely. I came back recently within the last, little bit. last 3 or 4 months, and I've become affiliate at long last, right? And that took a toll on me. It was very, very hard to do that. And in that time, I've lost and gained amazing friends. One of those friends that I've actually gained in that time is, of course, Wulfezz. And, of course, anyone who's been around on this channel for a long time, y'all know Batbeardgames. He is our guest on cam today.
Hello, everybody.
But, so it's important to talk about because it can affect how we interact with our communities. It can affect how our outlook on stream. And it can affect the quality of our streams.
That is definitely true.
And it affects attitude. You know, one thing with mental health is it can really fuck up your attitude and how you outlook on life. Because that 2.5 years I was gone, 3.5, I spent a year in a very toxic relationship where she did not want me streaming. I barely got to actually game, which was my release. That was where I released everything that I had, all my rage, hurt, hate, pain, caused not only by her, but the other people that she was bringing around me, was all bottled up. And I became the definition of what I had worked so hard not to be. I was on drugs. I was on nicotine. I was drinking a fuck ton. More than I ever have in my life. I was putting holes in my walls. It was bad. And then for 2.5 years, I basically couldn't stream because that had fucked me up so bad. I actually took a trip and spent almost an entire year living in the woods in North Carolina. So the reason it's important is because of how heavily mental health can affect a streamer's ability to stream and the quality of their streams. So I'm going to give the mic over to Nick and let him talk about what his thoughts on this subject.
So for me, mental health it's that a lot of people around me have come to me about their mental health issues. I've been kind of my friend group's therapist for, I don't know, since middle school started. That's what I've been for a lot of people. So I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot, and it definitely is an issue, especially in streaming community. I've known a lot of people who've stopped streaming because of their mental health. I personally stopped streaming for, I don't know, I think it was like 8 months or something like that. It was almost 8 months. And it was just a lot of things were getting to me, and school and everything. It definitely takes a toll. And I didn't feel like I was putting out content that I wanted to. I felt like I was just not happy doing what I was doing. So I took a break. I disappeared just as Gekuu did for a little bit of a shorter period of time. But I came back and I'm going to talk about it now. And yeah, I'm back to streaming again. So it's definitely a hard topic to talk about for some people too. So don't really know what else to say other than that. But what's your opinion, Bat? You got anything to say? See ya.
Yeah, my story is very similar. I stopped streaming for almost 3 years myself. It got to the point where I had panic attacks just thinking about going live. I would pull up OBS and then I would have to stop. Like I quit OBS. I just couldn't make it to stream time. I just get. I'm actually reliving that quite a bit right now. My hands would start shaking. My hands often shake because of the meds I'm on. But why is mental health important? I mean, look at all of us here. Look at what we're talking about. We're talking about the thing that we love to do most in our lives, and we're not able to do it because of our mental health. Like that's why it's important. Like when you're lacking that, well, then you lack self-confidence. Then you lack it cascades into every aspect of your psyche, and then your life. And it leads to a point, or led me to a point many times where I thought, hey, my life is over because I can't stream. Look at me. I can't stream every day. I can't play games every day. I couldn't even play a game at some point. I had too much panic attack. I had so much anxiety about live streaming that it translated to the point that I couldn't play games. So what did I do? I set my computer just to mine for about a year. And I'm so grateful that I'm on meds now that are getting me comfortable in my own skin to where I can stream again. and I can be here and I can be on your podcast. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Of course, man. Yeah. Thanks for coming in.
Okay.
So, one thing I wanted to say is mental health can, as he said, affect everything in your life. And for me personally, one thing it's definitely affected is my social life. I've kind of hermited myself off a little bit. I don't talk to people out in person as much. I talk to more people online. I find it harder to trust people in person now, for multiple reasons, but that's definitely one of them. I've resorted to just talking to people such as Gekuu, who I've become great friends with over the past, I don't even know, how long have we known each other?
I think it's maybe been a month.
It's been like
It's
one
been
or 2 months, but
1 or 2 months. I met you
yeah,
like a couple weeks after I met Just Nange.
yeah, so he's a great guy, and I'm glad I met people like him. I've just kind of closed myself off from a lot of people, so I'm glad I could meet people like him and Batbeard too. It's also affected my weight. It's also affected my weight like significantly. Like now I'm on an uptrend. I'm losing weight. I'm getting to where I want to be. But for 4 years, I maybe even more than that, like maybe like 5 or 6, I was on just a path going down, eating to like stop thinking about stuff. That's what I turn to is food. And everybody has something they turn to when they're sad. It's like I don't think anybody doesn't have something they turn to. And food is a thing for a lot of people, and it was a big one for me. I wouldn't say I really had like I don't know what the disorder name is. That's my bad, but I wouldn't say I have that disorder, like the binge eating disorder, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I would just kind of sulk and just slowly eat chips. Pretty much. That's what it was.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But it was bad for a while, and I'm slowly moving up the weight loss chain. I've lost, I think, 30 pounds now.
Yeah.
So,
and so before we move on to
congratulations.
Before we move on to our next point here, hey Wolfie Bean, dost thou have thoughts on why mental health is important and why it's important to talk about?
I have so many things going through my brain at once, but Wolf brought up eating, and that was Gekuu knows more than anyone that was a very big impact on me. And I did the same thing. I have what you just said, binge eating disorder, but because I also connected to those two have bulimia and anorexia. So I would get upset and then I would immediately go to food to help me. And so I would eat everything in the house and then I would sit there. And I was no longer sulking about whatever made me sad before. I was now upset that I ate, and I would go and I would get rid of all of it. And then I'd feel bad for getting rid of all of it. And it was just this vicious cycle of going back and forth of eating and getting rid of all of it. And there was a time where the binge eating didn't even exist, but the anorexia still did. And so
your camera just died.
Being that amazing to me. Yeah.
Right, there we go.
Cameras are being weird today.
Yeah.
But so there was a time where I had to go to the hospital for a little bit because I wasn't eating, and it was almost like it became something that you didn't need. Like we know as human beings we need food, we need air, we need sleep, we need water. But it was almost as if food just didn't become one of those lists. And instead it became love or attention or money. And I was filling my time with these other things, and I would completely even forget that food was a thing until someone brought it up and was like, have you been eating? I almost think that I don't want to put like a ranking system on anything, but I almost think that anorexia is deadlier than obesity only because I was praised the entire time that I was losing weight, that I was doing a good job for being skinny because that's whatever the, look is. It's to be skinny. Skinny is pretty. But they didn't realize that that was coming with anxiety and depression and just sitting on the bathroom floor and just crying for hours. And I also got really upset because people don't realize how much one mental disorder connects to everything else. I have not met one person that just has depression or just has anxiety, because having an eating disorder leads to depression, and then that leads to anxiety, and that leads to all of these other things.
And I think,
and so when you start telling people that you have, yeah, go ahead.
And I think that's the big thing too, is a lot of people don't realize if you have depression, you're more than likely been diagnosed with anxiety as well.
Right.
Exactly. And that goes for a lot of other things. It's almost like a chain reaction. And so when you open up about having things and then you start saying everything you have, people are like, oh, well, you have to be faking. There's no way that you can have that much. And it's like, no, actually, it's all linked together. It makes more sense
That's correct.
to be diagnosed with all of this than to just be diagnosed with one or two of them. So.
Okay, so I did find sorry. I did find some statistics on what you were talking about,
No, you're okay.
It killing people. It's what I'm looking at is that about 5 to 10% of people with anorexia die within 10 years of onset, and then 18 to 20 within 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you look at the numbers of people who have it or have had it compared to the obesity deaths in the country, it is more deadly. Because because you're correct.
Yep.
It is because binge eating and getting bigger and bigger and bigger is and now here's what's concerning me is both are praised. We're in this point in society where everyone is beautiful.
Exactly.
You're always healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a fuck when you're unhealthy. I will tell you right now, the weight I have gained from my mental health disorder is not okay. Right?
No,
and I know that.
I
Me
know
too.
that for a fact. I drink soda like a fucking fountain. I'm drinking right
Yeah, I only drink soda, and that's my problem.
Hey, I'm losing weight, but I still ain't healthy. Like I'm drinking Mountain Dew Code Red. This one bottle, 240 calories,
but
64 sugars.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's let her continue.
sodium.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're fine. You're fine.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bean.
You're okay. But we like just off of that. As you go on, I'm fine with that because you're giving me more stuff to say. But the thing is, with things like eating disorders, it's almost like an addiction, like it would be to pills or nicotine or anything else that you would have. And so whenever you get sad, it's the same thing. You can slip back into that. So you can be clean from drugs for forever, and one thing hits you so hard and you relapse into that. And it's the same thing for eating disorders. And I think that's why it's so deadly. Once you get it, it messes you up for the rest of your life. And I can tell you, because of how bad mine got, my body has a hard time regulating its temperature. I can't really tell when I'm hungry or when I'm full, when I'm not hungry, like all of that. It's like this one thing can mess up your entire aspect of life, even when you recover from it. And I can tell you, I've recovered from it and relapsed like probably 5 times in the past couple years.
Yeah, and what you were saying about like nicotine, the relapse in nicotine. When I stopped, Nick, this bottle of juice was it was half full. It's very clear I've taken 2 to 3 tanks out of it. I relapsed hard. I used 2 to 3 tanks and then I broke the vape. I realized what I was doing one day, and I actually told the person that I'd been
That's
talking.
what I did. I broke my last vape.
Talking to about it the most, that it fell. No, I smashed it. I looked at myself in the mirror holding it. I got pissed off, and I smashed the fucking tank over the counter. I still find glass in my bathroom because that thing shattered into a billion pieces. Sometimes we have to force ourselves to do things that we don't want to do. And like, I probably will end up getting another one in case I do have a hard relapse or like a hard want for it, because I'd much rather be on a vape than be chewing or smoking, right?
Yeah.
I'd much rather myself relapse onto a vape than relapse onto chewing or smoking, which I have done both and were much worse than me. I have done both at the same time, along with vaping at one point when I was with that Toxic X, which kind of brings us into, let's talk about our stories. I'm going to start, then we'll give it to Wolf and Batbeard, and of course, Wulfezz. So my big start with mental health was, I'm going to start in high school, because so in high school, freshman year, I was having a really hard time. It was kind of I was still getting used to still getting used to being one of the kids whose grandparents are bringing them to school, who's being taken care of by his grandparents. Freshman year, notable things that happened during this year, though, that were really good for my mental health. I met Brian. I met Batbeard. He's amazing. I started playing games with him and hanging around him. And I met the first person that I would ever kind of want to date. So that was cool. Things that were bad. I was really, in high school, I was the butt of the joke. More than literally sometimes. The butt of the joke. And a lot of my coping mechanisms became, I was really fit. Like, if you saw a picture of me freshman year, you would be like, who in the living fuck is that? So I was a fucking toothpick. Because when I moved in with my grandparents during middle school, I was bullied for my weight. So I lost a fuck ton of weight in middle school. Throughout middle school. And freshman year, I started getting bullied because I was too thin. Which then, of course, set me back on the other course. But then sophomore year, we actually lost a couple members of our class to suicide. Which really, really fucked me over. We also had a bonfire. Someone poured gas on it and it exploded. Killed one person and severely maimed another, which fucked with me really bad. The end of sophomore year, I had my first attempt of suicide. I had no help. Nobody knew how I was feeling. Nobody knew what was going through my head. That attempt hospitalized me for the rest of that school year. And the hardest part about this to say is I came out so many levels of worse for the wear it's not even funny. Right? I came out worse than I went in. Because within that mental hospital, I was still the butt of the joke, right? They encouraged us to all be friends and shit, and it wasn't working. The only person that I was friends with in that facility was my roommate, the person that I was in a room with. He was the only person I was friends with. And we bonded over one thing. At the time, I was a Christian, a very strong faith Christian. He was reading the Bible and becoming a Christian. And he's planning to get baptized when he left. So we were able to bond over that, and he was able to learn. I was able to learn from someone else's perspective who's never seen it, because I grew up in the church. Now, of course, recently on a stream, I did, in fact, more than obviously, almost completely denounce my faith. I have lost a lot of faith, and I've been on the fence for a very long time, and I still kind of am. But that's for another time. So then after that, junior year, I had a lot of incidents happen. A lot of problems. I actually had every single person in high school who bullied me went to the administration and told them that I did some stuff that I did not do. And of course, when you've got you got half of a fucking grade, half of a fucking class telling the administration that someone did something, whether or not they did it, you can't tell them they're wrong. It's one person against, it's like me against the world in that scenario. I got sent to DAP. Now, jokes on my bullies. Thank you guys for being absolute dicks and getting me sent to DAP. I graduated almost a year before you fuckers because of it. So, fuck you all. Yeah, but so then I went to DAP and I had an entire panic attack. Because I did not want to go because it was unrightful and unfair. Eventually, my grandfather convinced me that it'd be fine. And I went and talked to the principal. over there, and he convinced me that I should come over to the self-paced campus for my last couple years of school, rest of junior year, and for senior year. I ended up finishing, I think, a month into, like, it was the first semester of my senior year. By the end of it, I was done. By like a month before the end of the semester. I had finished all my school. And I graduated in February of 2017, and things kind of went downhill from there because I was no longer part of the group, right? I was done and over with, right? I wasn't in high school anymore. I wasn't there every day. All my friends didn't see me every day. They saw me at football games. My little sister was in band all through high school. I went to every single football game. I was an ag kid. I hung up at the ag barn. I did the ag concession stand. I was the fucking ag teacher's pet. I'm not going to cap here. I was actually telling Wulfezz about it earlier. I still am their teacher's pet. I go to every show, and they really like it because as someone with dyslexia and mental health disorders, they didn't know how to help me learn how to take care of my animal, learn how to show my animal. My grandfather actually is the only person who was able to show me how to show my animal because he had worked with my mother all those years ago, and I was showing the same animal as her. But now I go up to those shows, right, and I'll look and I'll be like, hey, Mr. Knight. So the teacher's name is Knight or Kelly. I'll go, hey, you see your student? They look like they need some help, and here's a way I think you might be able to help them. And so, like, I can see the kids with the mental illnesses because I have one, and I can point it out, and it's really cool. But, and then in 2017, I lost another friend who I was extremely close with, and I didn't tell anyone about this. I had a second attempt. I was not hospitalized this time because it wasn't a full attempt. I never actually successfully attempted. One of my friends actually found me before I was able to do anything. Then, in 2018, it was either end of 2017. No, it was definitely in 2018. I entered a extremely toxic relationship, not heeding the warnings of friends, family, people who were important to me who I should have listened to. At the end of that relationship, I looked my mother dead in the eyes and said, I want to kill myself. And I am not going to a mental hospital. So she said, all right, well, your dad's here. You're going up with your dad. And you're not coming back until you're better. I spent, I think it was 6 to 8 months with my dad, working, doing stuff like just, promotion stuff for different companies like he does under a contracted thing. And finally, after I think 18 or 19 years of my life, finally getting to know my paternal grandparents. And guess what? They're dicks and I hate them. Honestly, my paternal grandfather could care less of my existence, and my paternal grandmother, who is not actually my biological paternal grandmother, is okay. Actually, she's really sweet. I like her. I wish they tried to contact me more. I wish they ever tried, because I feel like I'm unimportant to them because they never tried. And I watch them. I've got 2 younger cousins that live 45, 50 minutes west or east of me. She comes down here every year to see them. She comes down here so much for them. She's down here a lot. I never hear, hey, you want to come spend time with me? Hey, let's go out to lunch, right? And that really messes me up. My paternal grandfather, however, is a jerk. He is a jackass in every sense. I think every time I had a good experience with him while I was up there was we were working. Because I got to drive the truck while I was up there. We had to go take the trash to the dump, or we were working on the tractor, or every good experience was work. Because as a boss, as someone who you're supposed to be listening to while working, he's a great boss. Terrible parent. Horrible parent. Great boss. And I can't say that he's a bad man, because he's a good man with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say he's a bad man. He's a good Christian man. He was a preacher for many, many years. I can't say he's a bad guy. He's just not a great parent, and he's not a great grandparent to me. And I came back from that, and since that point, I've been doing better. Eventually, I started, so that when I got back, I think the very first thing I did, after I spent like a few weeks at my grandparents' house, and I stayed there. One moment. Sorry, my dogs were going after the cat. I can just hear the cat running.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
But I came back, and the first thing I did was, and I posted this on my TikTok. I posted this on my TikTok that I built my original computer in its case that it has, and that case recently broke. I put my computer in a new case. The airflow is amazing, but like, it was really emotional because my grandfather helped me build this PC. That PC. He helped me build the original rig. Now, my maternal grandfather has no idea about computers. My paternal grandfather can build a computer in an hour. My maternal grandfather has no fucking idea what's going on. This man sat there for 3 hours and listened to me instruct him on how to do certain things so that he could help me and he could spend the time with me as I was healing. And I got to gaming again. And then recently, when I started streaming again, I met this really cool guy. I wonder if he's in the chat. I don't know if he is. His name is Cloudy Tricks. Cool guy. Normally high as fuck, but great guy. Amazing. And it kind of encouraged me. I saw him just randomly streaming. Just to stream. I was like, I'm going to start streaming. And then I went from randomly streaming to streaming more daily. And then I got down and I fucking farmed out affiliate. And so after that, I started playing with more people and I met more people. Eventually, I become a member of Two Time. And while a member of Two Time, I met a couple of amazing people who introduced me to this guy below me, Mr. Wulfezz.
Fat man himself.
Through Wulfezz, I met the Oso Havocs. I met my Irish friend Banana. Y'all know him. I played with him quite a bit. Through him, of course, I met the Bean herself, Wolf E.
Hello.
And that brings us to the present. We've got this podcast. We're doing amazing. We're helping other people, and I feel so amazing about it. And so I am going to pass the mic to Wulfezz and let him tell you about his story. And I will be right back. I'm going to go find out why the hell they were barking.
Probably because the cat pissed on him.
I don't know if it was the cat or not. That's the thing. I'm also going to go get more water.
It's usually the cat. I don't like cats, personally. I got scratched by one when I was 3. I don't like cats.
What?
Yeah,
Cats are amazing.
I've gotten me in the eye.
I've gotten my ass kicked by like so many cats so many times. I will still chase after like a cat and make it love me. I swear to God.
Yeah, I was blind for about a month and a half because of a cat. So
it's just its way to show its love.
Okay.
It's just aggressive love, I swear.
Aggressive love.
That sounds like my father. So my story is like, I don't even know how to describe my story. It's special. That's all I have to say. Because I've always been the one kid that's been heavy set, never been small. You know what I mean? I've always been the tall, big, chubby kid that everybody can pick on easily. So it's really been going on since kindergarten. I've kind of just grown up with it, dealt with it my whole life. No, it doesn't really bother me anymore. People could say whatever the hell they want about me. I just kind of deal with it and blow it off. It's, for me, things that get to me are when family members say stuff. That's what gets to me. And that's where most of my issues come from. Personally, I have a few family members. I don't want to, because I know a few of them watch my streams. I don't want to name names or say anything. But a few of them have said things in the past that have affected me personally, like a lot. And that's where most of my issues come from. I'm not like anxious about anything. It's when I hear a word that certain family member has said to me, it brings back the memories. It's not like PTSD. I'm not like I don't really know how to describe it, but
Vibes and
it's like I don't know. Words don't work with me for some reason. But I've been the rock for more people than people have been a rock for me, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the people, the person people come to talk about their issues, and I always try and be there for everybody else. And I feel like that satisfies me as a person because I like helping other people, especially people that mean a lot to me. Like Gekuu, I've talked to him about plenty of issues, and he's such a great guy, and I appreciate everything he's done for me, as well as like he's one of also the reasons I've got back into streaming. I wasn't streaming when I met him. I started streaming because of him and a few other people.
I don't know what this is about this influence. Let's see. Who started streaming again since I met him? I met Jess and Ange. Just started streaming again. I met you. You started streaming again. I played with Banana and Wolfie, and Wolfie started streaming again. And I got her. She Wednesday. She kind of pieced out of it. I'm like, no, you gotta come back. You're a great streamer.
I will definitely talk about that more in a second.
Yeah.
Also, sorry if I'm like.
Oh, just a funny note. On my way back in here. On my way back in here from the kitchen, I wiped the fuck out. So so I have the box for my new case still in the kitchen. I haven't opened up my closet, pulled down the old box, put the new one up there. Anyway, my cat had tipped it over and pulled out a piece of plastic that was in it. And I was walking across the carpet, not looking at the floor. I step on it and I just go whoom. And then this is me with my cup. Fuck.
Cats, man.
Like trying not to spill my tea everywhere. It was funny.
That's
and on top of that,
with caps on them. See this? It's a cap on a bottle.
Fuck you.
All right, Wolfie, continue.
I don't remember what I was saying.
No one does.
Yeah, you were the guy that most people come to.
Yeah, and
you said something about Gekuu being the reason you started streaming again.
Yeah, he was. So I had told him when I met him that I used to stream, and so the person that first initially got me into streaming is my friend Lil Panda. She is awesome. She was the reason I got into streaming. She set a lot of stuff up for me. Same with my buddy Chris, who I haven't talked to in forever because I don't know why. But I had a lot of people get me into streaming in the first place. And when I took my break, I had nobody like telling me, "Oh, you need to get back into this. Oh, you're so funny." Blah 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 blah. And then I met Gekuu and Lucy and all them, and they're like, "You need to get back into streaming. You're still so good at this game." Blah blah blah. Like, and that's why I got back into it, and now I do it all the time. I have more subscribers than I ever have. I've gained twice the amount of followers I had at when I stopped streaming. It's brought a whole new light to like my life, and it's something I really enjoy doing. So I'm gonna keep doing it, thanks to that little nerd above me up there.
Pretty much.
So yeah. And also, anybody watching, even if I don't know you personally, if you do need to talk about anything, I'm always the one guy that's usually around. Oh yeah, I'm totally cracked at Fortnite, by the way, Nugget. Thank you. I haven't played Fortnite in probably 2 years.
Oh god. I will never play Fortnite again.
Who wants their turn? It's like the cafe lunch line.
I guess we can keep going in order. I'll take my turn. So my story, it kind of begins as I was transferring between schools. I was originally at my local community college, and then I got accepted to a state university, and I was so excited about that because it was kind of like my dream school. But something happened in between where I went on a camping trip and I was sexually assaulted, and I got PTSD from that. And I don't think I've ever admitted that on the internet to anybody, at least that part of my story, that it began there, that I had PTSD. And that was sort of the trigger, the unraveling of my issues. But after that, like the following summer, after dropping out of school, the following summer, I got some medicine, and that medicine, it pushed me over the edge, and I learned that I had bipolar disorder. So that sent me to the hospital, and I had my first experience being in a mental hospital, and that was completely nerve-rattling. I was kind of the opposite of Gekuu. I was very popular in there, and I have been very popular in those mental hospitals for some reason or another, mainly because I guess I'm the guy that everybody comes to talk about their problems, or if they need a shoulder to cry on, they go to me. I guess I just seem gentle in my, well, at least when I'm well.
Not to mention he's funny as fuck.
Thank you very much.
You do look like a comfy teddy bear.
Oh, I appreciate it. Actually,
you all do.
I embrace that.
A hug, to be honest.
The only good redeeming part about me is I'm 6'6", and that's
you're 6'6". Wow, I'm 6'4". I'd be looking up to you a little bit.
I'm 5'5". I'll be looking up to you a lot.
There's a few people I know that are like 5'1" that I just kind of look straight down at them. Sorry for interrupting.
That's fine. So to summarize, like this chain of events, like it brought about, it drew out my diagnosis. Now initially, I got put on medication, lithium, and that worked very well for a while, several years, in fact. But after a while, you can stop responding to medication, and so I stopped responding to it very well. And this is like I was streaming for like 3 years. From 2016 is really when I started, through 2017, into early 2018, and that's when I stopped responding to the medication, and I quit. I quit for like 2018, 2019, and 2020 completely, and I'm just now starting again. It took me all that time. I was hospitalized each of those years for having manic episodes. I just could not keep stable. To describe like a manic episode, it's like becoming something more than human. Your brain gets flooded with all of the dopamine, and it's like being on cocaine, and it's like being on ecstasy, and all of those drugs all at the same time. And it's incredibly painful once those neurotransmitters stop, because when those stop, there's just this big void, and then there's a collection in your body. It's collecting, and the repo man comes, and it's like, ooh, it's constant nerve pain. It's fire. Your limbs go on fire. Everything hurts, and then you're in depression. And I tell you, I've never had the hardest fight against suicide in my life than a depressive episode right after a manic one. And it's just so intense. The only thing you can do is stay around your closest loved ones and hope and pray that you don't do anything drastic, that you don't just pick up a knife and end it, because it's intensely painful, and you have no hope. You can't see more than a few milliseconds in front of you. It's just that much pain. So I've experienced that more than a few times now, and that's not fun over the course of a few years. That's my mental health story. Right now I'm on Abilify, which is a fantastic med for bipolar disorder. It's working very well for me. It may not work for everybody. But there are a huge class of meds, and I've tried them all. But I settled on this one, and I have to take Lyrica to cancel out the side effects. I have akathisia, which is a side effect of Abilify, and that's a really intense, painful thing. It's in my legs, and but thankfully I have this Lyrica to take care of that. But as a consequence, I have really poor motor function. So my hands are shaking like all the time, and I'm playing games like that. But I'm just happy to be stable, to be able to play games, and to be streaming again, because I'm really not doing this for any sort of not for the grind of streaming. I'm doing it for my mental health, as long as it feeds me as a person, as long as it makes a positive impact on my life, I'm willing to do it. So that's my new take on life here.
At least you can laugh it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's one good thing, is if you're able to laugh about your issues and make it a positive, it's how would I say it? My brain is just not working tonight.
I think we all do that to some extent.
Yeah, I hear you.
I laugh most of my issues off.
But I feel like it's an entire, like, I feel like we're like a different breed, because people, it's like completely different. People that do laugh about their situation and people that don't, like when they hear us like joke about the things we joke about, they think we're terrible people, and in reality we're like, no, it's just how we get through it. It's how we end
I think that's a lot of
dying.
like off stream I tend to be, I'll joke about the fact that I sit here with a knife all day, right, in my hand. I'll joke about driving, going 200 down a back road and purposely flipping my car, right? It's how we get through it.
Well, I lost my knife. I have a knife next to my bed.
One of my favorite jokes, I'll go into my story after this, but one of my favorite jokes that no one has found funny except for my best friend Amore, because she knows that I'm okay with people laughing at it, is someone asked me my body count. And I've gotten that question all the time because I'm a girl, and I guess it's just a question you ask girls. But... And my response to it, I know, but my response to it every time is, are we talking like only consent or like everything? And then I laugh, and people just stare at me, and I'm like, no, you can laugh at that. I'm joking. It's not a joke, but like I find it funny. I've gotten over it somewhat. So anyways, that's how dark my humor gets. But I'm just gonna gloss over a lot.
Like, I have a joke that's kind of fucked up, but here, I'll actually say it because it's not that fucked up. What's Osama bin Laden's favorite drink?
Oh,
God.
A double Manhattan.
Are we allowed to say that on Twitch?
Yes, you are.
Is it kind of insensitive? Is it? But is it? It
No,
seems a little
not
insensitive
really.
to say that. It seems a little insensitive to say that. 4 days before the anniversary of that date. Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, at least it's not on the day though.
Yeah, oh my god, that'd be bad.
Okay, I'm chilling out for a bit.
Ban myself. I probably would ban myself if I said it on that day. Actually, isn't it the 20th anniversary?
All right.
Yeah.
And there's the 20th anniversary.
And fun fact, since it's because there's a terrorism warning out for it too, for 9/11 memorial events.
Wow.
Really? That's a
thing? They think it caused terroristic violence, apparently.
Wow.
Sheesh. Well,
I mean, so anyway, let's get back to mental health now.
Okay, anyways.
Let's do it.
So
it's your turn.
Yeah, lovely. So I'm gonna gloss over a lot of the beginning. A, because I don't want to get you taken off of Twitch. And B, because a big part of it, actually, I don't say it ever anywhere except for in private, and half of this stuff I haven't said in private because I'm terrified my family is going to find it. And even when the few small occasions I tried to start bringing it up to them, they would immediately shut me down about any of these topics. So I like how you all started in like middle school or whatever. I literally started at birth. I was born with clinical depression from my mom and my dad, so it was very strong. I don't remember any time growing up that I wasn't anxious, and the best way I can describe my depression is people go through their life being happy until something sad happens that makes them sad. And I'm the opposite. I go through my life sad until a happy moment happens to make me happy. Otherwise, it's just sad and anxiety all of the time, and that's terrifying. But when I was 8, when I was 1, my mom and my dad separated, but he stayed in our lives. And when I was 8, he started profiting off of me. That's all I'm gonna say about that until I was 12, and that stopped. He also abused my brother for a long time, and me in other ways. But I got a lot of PTSD off of that, and since I was a kid, my PTSD to this day still seems like childish to a lot of people. Like my triggers are very childish, like the darkness or thunderstorms, because it happened when I was so young, and so I found certain things scary to that extent. But flash forward to now, he's in prison. Don't worry. Around probably the beginning of middle school is when my eating disorder started, and the summer before my freshman year, I was hospitalized because it got so bad, and I was in the hospital for a little over a month, and then I got sent to a mental hospital, and that was my first time in a mental hospital. And I hated it, not because of the people. I got along with some of them, and then I would just stay around the people that I got like hung out with or whatever, got along with. Besides when they like forced us to, interact. But I got out of there just a little bit into my freshman year and got there late. And my thing is, I've never really been bullied in school specifically. I've been bullied mostly by myself online, and I've grown up now and realized my brother had a very big part to do with it. And bless his heart, it's hard because when I describe our relationship, it's like a abusive relationship. I love him to death. He loves me to death. We both know that. But he does things and he won't listen to us. Like he'll like punch us for fun, like in the arm or something, and he has so much more strength than he knows. And we'll tell him, "Hey, don't do that." Like that, like literally is leaving bruises on us. And his response to that is, "No, it's not." And he just completely shuts us down. So about halfway through my freshman year, I got into not my first toxic relationship, but by far the most toxic relationship, who was literally every kind of abusive, emotionally, physically, sexually, every single type of abusive you could even think of. And I stayed with him until the summer after my sophomore year. The breakup was extremely rough. And this is the boyfriend Gekuu knows about, who tried to take my dog. And when I tried to stop him, he hit me with his truck. And I mean, like, ran over me and shattered my leg. And that was a fun experience. So my whole life, I have learned, not only have I been gaining more and more mental problems, but I have also learned that talking about it gets me nowhere. I've been in therapy for years. I've gotten nowhere. I tried to tell my mom about it. It's gotten me nowhere. I've tried to talk to my brother. It's gotten nowhere. I've tried to talk to about my friends, and I've lost a lot of people that way. And so I kind of just learned. Gekuu, you need to not. He sent me this earlier about my ex. But anyways.
Damn it, Gekuu.
I just want to talk to him. I've lost a lot of friends over it, so I learned just to like don't talk about it. Just like deal with it in other ways. And I started streaming. And that to me was a very big relief. I would have streams all the way up until like this month, honestly. The beginning of, well, not this month, but the end of last month. I would have streams where I would just break down and cry and just talk about what's happening the best of my ability. And I don't know, 1 or 2 people would watch it. I don't even care. Almost to the point I've told my friends I don't want to be affiliated because I want to keep having my outlet. This is the only place I feel safe breaking down like this and telling people how I really feel to the extent that I feel it. And I know if I get affiliated, more people are going to watch me, more people are going to expect things from me. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle that. And it's going to take my outlet away. But recently, in the past week, oh, thank you, Nova. Recently, in the past week, I have lost someone very close to me, and they didn't die, but it's very complicated. They are not completely in my life anymore, and I'm not sure that they will be in the future. And that is
Hurts like a
petrifying.
bitch on a stick.
It is, yeah, it is terrifying. I have never been so scared of something in a very long time. And Wednesday, I actually freaked out. I took down everything on my Twitch. I turned all of my things to private. I muted everyone on everything except for that person, and in case they came back. Basically just went off the grid.
Can I tell this one?
Yeah,
and this is funny. So I'm not gonna name drop it. I'm not gonna say anything. I have a private Instagram account that's not my. It's not my personal. It's not my streamer. It is the. It is as far away from Twitch as I could get it.
Yep.
And she didn't realize it was me, and I went and I poked the bear with a stick.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
This is what happened. When I went off the rails, I went through my Instagram that was public. It's not my gaming Instagram. And I filtered through all of the people, and I tried to get every single person that knew this person off of my Instagram. Because the reason we had gotten to this point is because I had said too much. Once again, proving that I should just like keep my mouth shut. And so I thought, I don't want to hide this, because when I'm by myself in my feelings and no one else around me knows that I'm getting bad again, that's when I'm scared to be alone. So I knew I was going to have to put something out there and let people know I'm not okay. And so I knew that I couldn't do that with anyone on my page that knew him. So I went through and I thought I got everyone off, but freaking Gekuu here somehow just slithered his way on through.
He knows how
And,
He does that.
He does that, yeah.
Ask Batbeard.
He's
Just
very
you
good at
can
that.
literally ask
Literally,
Batbeard. When I overmodded
Yes.
his chat because I was like a really strict mod, he banned me from everything, and I found a way to talk to him.
Well, this was
Yeah.
back when you were flaming Newt. And
This is too. I was flaming.
You were
Well,
a bit toxic back then, but
Yeah.
given what you've been going through,
Wow,
I understand.
Yeah.
That's also something I want to talk about, but in a second. Anyways, so Gekuu was actually the person that contacted the person I was going through this with,
He's sweet.
and
He's
said,
nice.
"Hey, you need to check on her. She's not okay." And he actually did call me, and since then, almost every day he has been calling me for like a minute or less, just to be like, "Hey, are you good? Okay, good night." And that's it. But honestly, it gives me hope that I'm not gonna lose that person forever, because that's terrifying.
I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to that, I saw, and this is the whole thing. I was like, I know who this is.
Yeah, he knew immediately.
And I didn't know the whole story at the time. I was
Yep.
like, but I know who she's talking about. Or no, I didn't even know who you were talking about. I just knew you weren't okay, and you were you were saying things that freaked me the fuck out, and I was worried. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, who do I know that she might trust more than me because she doesn't know me that well? That person.
and he went straight to them, and they were the one that got me to that point. But it's crazy to me because at that point in my life, this was literally just last Wednesday. At that point, I was convinced I would never see them again. They would never want to talk to me again. I really fucked it up this time. They gave me another chance, and I fucked that up. And I would never talk to them again, and that was terrifying because these past couple months, they were one of the only 2 people that I trusted. So, knowing that I would lose one of them was terrifying. And the fact that someone came to him to tell me that I wasn't okay, and he still checked up on me, even though literally the day before we had this huge falling out, basically, that meant a lot to me, and that he still does that. I still don't. It's very confusing where I stand with this person, to be honest. I am very confused. I don't want to talk to them about it, but if I don't, I'm just going to keep being confused. But, so last week, after I did all of that, I actually had been relapsing before that for about a week or 2 in my eating disorder. And I still am struggling with that. Very tough today. And then Wednesday, I actually relapsed in self-harm and pills. And that was tough. And then Gekuu was one of the only people, him and a close friend that I met through that person, J-Dog, love him. These 2 were the only ones, but specifically Gekuu, that were like,
you know
no.
J-Dog?
Yeah.
I love J-Dog. The best.
Yeah, he's amazing. We've honestly just been playing like 8-ball on our phones back and forth, and that's been getting me through a lot. It gets me like, I'll be sitting there like struggling through something, and he's like, "Hey, play 8-ball," and I'm like, I got you. So him and Gekuu, but specifically Gekuu, have been getting me through this past week, and it's made it a lot easier. It takes my focus off of things, but it's also giving me someone that knows that person, that I trust, that I can go talk to about my entire situation. And even if you're not even giving me advice or knowing that you can't help it anyway, still being able to go to you and being like, "Hey, in this very moment, I'm thinking about this person." Because I can't go to him and say, "Hey, in this very moment, I'm thinking about you." But I can go to Gekuu, and I can go to Jay, and I can be like, "Hey, I'm thinking about it again." And they can be like, "All right, well, here's what I did today. What you do today?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I did this, 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 and this. Should I go eat fast food?" And they're like, "Hell yeah." It's just, that was very helpful. And I try to tell them that I would never go very extreme. I've attempted one time. I have had one attempt in my life. I've almost had one more, but I never got around to that. I was very close though. But so that's been my week. I am currently still in that. One of the darkest places that I've been in a very long time. And what I noticed is I'm treating a lot of people like shit. A lot of people that I care about. I stopped talking to my other best friend. Yesterday I told my parents and my brother to fuck off. I was walking down the stairs and they pissed me off just a little bit. And I said, "Fuck you all." And I just walked downstairs, like, to their faces. And I got downstairs and I was like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Like, I love these people. They are the only people that have gotten me to where I am. And I just did that. And I went upstairs and apologized, of course. But that brings me to the point I wanted to say is it's hard to see people break down and start treating other people like shit because of what they're going through, when you know that you're going through so much, like the same amount of pain, if not more, and you can keep it together enough to not hurt the people close to you. But you can it's hard because you try to sympathize with people who are going through tough things. But how far can you sympathize with someone, you know? Like if someone loses their parent and you know they're hurting and their response of that is to come and start hurting you, how do you take that? Are you just supposed to let them because you know that they're hurting? Or are you just supposed to make them stop? Because that'll hurt them even more. And they're already going through it. So I don't know what to do about that. We had a instance with someone recently and that happened. And I feel so bad for them. And I know Gekuu feels the same way. All we want to do is go and comfort you. But I don't know how we can do that if they're gonna hurt us just because they're hurting. All right.
And like you were talking about being kind of toxic to people you care about. Last night, and I am gonna say this again on the podcast because I want people to hear it. A lot of you know we have. He's lurking right now, but NJ has been had the great honor of being my
throw names out there.
You know, well with this one he's in chat anyway. He's been in chat. Everyone knows who he is. And this is me. I fucked up pretty hard last night. I had a terrible fucking day. And I've told Wolfie about this.
Mhm.
I had a terrible day, and he came in, and I was with some friends. And, you know, normally he kind of jokes around and stuff and makes jokes about, you know, him being bad or like the people in chat being bad. But this particular person didn't take it as a joke. He had a bad day himself and got really, really upset really quickly. And he didn't really like NJ, and he kind of tolerated for me, which was so fucking nice of him. And that person went off. And then I read back through the chats, and I blew up. Like, Bat, I don't know if you remember, but remember how I used to go off so much all the time? I blew up like that for the first time in ages.
Yeah.
I blew the fuck
I was
up.
scared, and he wasn't even yelling at me.
And I screamed my head off. And the moment I had cooled off, I was like, oh, fuck. And that's another point with mental health. Sometimes we rid ourselves of old habits that we used to do. And there'll be a point where something will break us and cause it to happen again. And that is not
so true.
That's not something I want to be like, I don't want to be going ape mode on somebody in my chat on stream unless it's something serious. Like, if you come, like, I'm gonna go ape mode on if you come in here joking about suicide, joking about killing children, you know, joking about mental health, especially right now, right? You know, we break old habits and we relapse into them sometimes, but that doesn't mean that you can't be okay again. You know, and you know, I was talking to Wolfie this morning about her eating disorder, and I had a friend who had anorexia, and she would not eat. It was literally killing her. She was ribs. I said, all right, you're eating with me. From now on, you're eating with me. I would sit there, and I would listen to her, and I made her tell me what she felt like she was craving that day, because we all have cravings for certain foods. And then she'd go and do whatever, and I'd get her to come over, or I'd go over there at the end of the day, and I'd hand her a plate of food. It's whatever she told me earlier that day that she was craving. And I'd sit there and I'd eat it. And I learned a lot about anorexia. And one of the big things that everything said is, yeah, I will, is that the best thing you can do is ingest liquid, right? Tap water, sweet tea, even soda, because it encourages the body to go after fat, go after things that are entering your body, not go after your muscle, because that's one thing with weight loss, especially. You have to be careful because your body will eat muscle before it eats fat. And so one of the things I learned with her is if I wasn't going to be, you know, cooking for her, I'd say, ingest something. And that's what I told Wolfie this. Ingest something.
Ingest something, yeah. But I completely agree on that one. When I went in the hospital for what happened for my eating disorder, um, I was at the point that I was having to use a walker. I didn't have to, but I definitely like should have, and I used it for a while because that's how weak I had gotten. I was literally just a skeleton, and I had to be in the hospital for a very long time, like actual hospital. Oh, a little tiny, but like I think a week over a month, and then I went in the mental hospital for like 2 or 3 more months, and I couldn't leave, and that was scary. But like I said, it ruins everything about you, just like any other addiction does. It's an addiction, it really is, and it completely ate away at, like I said, my ability to self-regulate my temperature. I get cold almost everywhere, but it's really dangerous in the summertime because I can't cool down either. So if it gets really hot outside, I'll overheat. If it gets really cold outside, I'll get hypothermia really easily. I can't go play out in the snow when it does. Um, I have to wear like 3 jackets in the winter or like coats. Like it's honestly just it affects more of your life than you think it ever would. You think,
Yeah.
oh, you get skinny, you go to the hospital, you get better, maybe you relapse. But no one ever talks about the scariest part of having an eating disorder is actually recovering from it, because your body was so used to when you did eat, it doesn't know when it's going to get nutrients again, so it
Yeah.
stores that in you. So when you start eating again, you actually get a lot bigger than you were in the beginning, and that
And a
is
lot
actually where
faster
I'm
too.
at. I I am the
Happening a
biggest
lot
right now than I
faster.
have been my entire life. Um, and at the like, it doesn't bother me too much now. Now I am anorexic because a coping mechanism, because I was anorexic before and I relapsed. Before, when I got into it, it was purely because I hated the way I looked. And when I was um not relapsing, sorry. When I was recovering, I fell into a very deep dark depression because I was still hooked on that. I was still hooked on my looks, and I could tell how fast I was regaining my fat and then going over that. Um my parents had to confiscate my scale because I was weighing myself 4 times a day at least, if not like 5 or 6. It was absolutely insane. I based my entire day around what I was and what I wasn't eating. I would look at every single calorie. A lot of people with eating disorders coping mechanism is actually gum, chewing gum, and the calorie intake on one piece of gum was too much for me, so I would rip it in half and have half a piece of gum at a time. Um that was one thing that really sucked. And I still have pictures. The thing is now, I still have pictures of me when I was in the hospital when I was so happy with myself, and I don't look good. I look dead. I should have been dead. I don't know how I wasn't dead. It looked like someone took a skeleton and just like barely draped some skin over it.
Paper mache.
It was terrible. Pretty much. I mean, I'm surprised the wind didn't blow that hard and like I like flew away. Like I'm surprised I didn't die. I'm surprised I didn't get put in the hospital earlier too.
Yeah.
But like I said, um duty standards are at the time earlier and still somewhat now was skinny is pretty. So as I was losing weight, even past being under my BMI and like just obviously being unhealthy, I was still getting praise about how skinny I was. What diet are you on? Can I take a picture with you? Oh, I want to look like you. And I was I was like 5'4" and like 86 pounds. I was fucking tiny. I don't know how I wasn't dead.
All right. Yeah.
Still, like I could barely walk. So
That.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So I've got a story here from Ichi. that he wanted to tell. He was going to come tell it himself, but some complication came up with family stuff, so he's unable to make it. But he did send it to me and would like me to read it, so I'm going to read this off real quick. So this is from Etchy Lord. He was in chat just a minute ago. And he said, so my sister was going through some hard times in life. There was a night before school. My sister took an entire bottle of antidepressant pills to try and commit suicide. The next morning, she told my parents, and she did that, and she was rushed to the hospital. About 8 hours after, I was told that she did that, and that she didn't want me to know specifically because she knew that I was going to react the worst. So about an hour later, I ran out of the house and started running to the hospital to see her. My parents caught up to me and stopped me. 4 days later, she was released from the hospital, but she then went to a mental hospital for about 2 weeks. I hardly ate food the entire time. I think I had 4 meals in 2 weeks, but after her coming back, she wasn't the same. She changed. I supported whatever she went through and helped her. So my way of saying be careful in what you do, what you do, because no one knows what the other person is going through. So that's what Ichi had to say. And on kind of that note, let's try to move on to another topic here. See, we've got some resources. They're posting in chat. So I'm gonna add kind of 2 more topics that I didn't mention. We're gonna also try to hit on a little bit of the specific gendered mental health. But right now, I want to talk about our opinions on how can mental health affect streamers and their streamers and their communities. With streamers, and I've seen it a lot. In this world, and I've talked about this before on my stream, we build our little pedestals, and we put streamers up here. This is a pedestal. We put streamers on top of this pedestal, and it's similar with, actors, musicians, stuff like that. We put everyone on this pedestal, these famous, popular people on a pedestal, and we expect perfection, right? And people aren't perfect, and they break. We've seen it from so many creators. So many. PewDiePie had to take a mental health break. There are videos and streams where Markiplier just breaks. Same with Jack and a bunch of other people, myself included. I've seen Bat breaking into his stream. We all have breaking points. And in my opinion, the way mental health can really affect a streamer is how well they can stream, how much they can stream, and their attitude on stream. And then how it affects their communities. It affects their interaction with their community. It really does. Because if I'm upset, if I'm, something's wrong, I look at chat and I just don't know what to say. So that's my opinion. I'm gonna let Wolf have an opinion here.
What?
See what you have to say about how mental health affects streamers and their community.
Oh yeah. There's a lot to say about that. Like, for me, actually, I had it was a few streams ago. I was playing Valorant. I might have been playing with you. I can't remember. But I was having a bad day. I came to stream to have fun, stream and all that. Get away from everything that I was doing in the day. And something happened in the game. I can't remember what it was. And I kind of just snapped. And I paused the stream for 15, 20 minutes, came back and started it back up. But not a single person had asked if I was good, because before that I was yelling on stream while I was playing Valorant. And like, a lot of people don't care. I mean, I love my community. Most of my community cares, especially the people that are in this room right now, such as Gekuu. I know if he saw me angry on stream, he would ask. Most of the people in chat that are in this podcast would ask now, but a lot of people don't care. Like, say, let's give an example. Say if Tim the Tatman stopped streaming, or he had a moment on stream, and he stopped the stream early, and he didn't stream for another 3 days afterwards. Nobody would care. Nobody would ask what happened. They would blow it off and wait for the next stream. They care more about the content than they do the person. And as Bat just said in chat, a lot of people who don't care lack empathy. Yeah, I agree with that completely. So it's a big problem in Twitch community, especially. I feel like YouTube community, it can be a little different. I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between those two communities.
I think when it comes to YouTube and Twitch, because Twitch, everything is happening in that moment, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to YouTube, it you know, and I know this for a fact because I've seen his videos and his vlogs about it. It takes these big streamers like Mark and Jack a lot to not cut the footage where they're crying and they're screaming, "Fuck! Fuck! Fuck! Why? Why is life like this to me?" Right? It takes everything they have to not just cut that footage and throw it away. Yeah. That little bit of humanization, they could just throw it away. Because, you know, we'll never know that it happened. They'll never, you know, they never have to talk about it. But it shows humanization and how it can affect them and their communities. I just hear you two tippity-tapping, and I'm like, what is going on?
I'm typing in DMs to somebody. Sorry.
I also think that people on YouTube get more like bullied more often because there's that whole thing about people get bullied more online because it's not face to face. You can hide through a screen. I also think that applies to on Twitch. It's live, and when you say something, you can see their immediate reaction. Whereas if you post a comment on YouTube, you're not going to see their reaction.
Yeah.
You don't think you're doing anything to anyone. Even if you don't even know if they see it. So I feel like people would get bullied more on YouTube because of that. Because you're even more dehumanized on YouTube than you are on Twitch. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the cookie.
Cookie? I want a cookie.
No, you're...
Share with me. I want a cookie.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have cake in the kitchen. I might go get some.
I've really only had one. You can go do that. You don't have to listen to this because I'll just talk.
I'm stuffed,
buy you some time.
No, I'm stuffed from dinner.
I'll buy you some time to go get cake.
No, you're good.
So, I had something and I lost it. No, there's one time that I lost it to an extent. I wish I had just stopped and taken it out of my stream, but it was live, so I couldn't. And I can't even remember what happened. I knew I had a shitty day that day, and something in the game happened over and over and over, and I was in tears, and I just screamed. I was probably just screaming the F word over and over, and I remember I took my headphones off, and I threw them on my bed, and right as that happened, my Wi-Fi kicked out, and it turned my fucking stream off, and I was like, thank the heavens. That was terrible, and they're not going to see the rest of this meltdown I'm about to have. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Great timing there. The only time that I was happy my Wi-Fi shut off.
So, Batbeard, your thoughts on how mental health affects streamers and their communities?
Well, I know that how it's affected my community in mainly it's dispersed the community quite a bit. Because my lack of streaming, people have moved on. They've moved on to bigger and better things. I'm very happy for them. I get a lot of messages from people on Discord that have moved on, and they tell me how great it is, or they send me a message on YouTube. I still get some of those every now and then. And they tell me what they're doing, and they're moving on to college and onto a new job or any major landmark in life. And I'm very proud of them. I tell them how happy I am for them. but they're not here for my return to streaming, and they're not gonna be. And it would be really egocentric for me to want to expect them to be here, but I don't expect them to be here. I just expect that, you know, my mental health took a toll and it separated a lot of the Bat fam, and I'm sad because we're all, you know. But the nice thing is, you know, I guess I get to build new followers, and
you get a chance to meet new
fine.
people and build this new community, and it's really exciting.
Absolutely.
Because I got to watch you grow the first time, and now as grown myself, I get to watch it happen again. It's so
Hopefully
exciting.
It's bigger and better.
Bigger, better things.
Yep. I know it's affected me a lot because I feel like if I'm not consistent and I don't have a schedule, that people aren't going to want to watch. Because I know I don't like to watch people that don't have a schedule because I don't want to be at work. And then all of a sudden their notification pops up and I'm like, oh, great. I wanted to watch these people and like be a constant part of their stream, but I can't now because I didn't know they were going to go live. And also, just today, I've decided I will try my best to hit affiliate, specifically because Gekuu, Rainbow, and Jay have peer pressured me into becoming affiliate, and I kept telling them I didn't want to become, and they were like, all right, well, we're going to do it for you.
Yeah, we basically said, well, you're going to hit it whether you want it or not.
We're going to hit it, so...
I have one quick question, Wolfie.
Yeah, what's up?
Were you part of were you on the Oso Havoc server before I even got there?
Yes, I was there before we even met you. I think we met you like
because I
a day or two after I got involved with everyone. I did too.
Yeah, I joined the group through Banana.
I was with Banana when we met you.
Yeah. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
So wait,
yeah,
you met Gekuu through me then, right?
Nope.
No, I met
Gekuu
Nick. Banana.
Nick, I met Banana through you. No, actually, I met Banana through Vaughn because you had just left.
No, we were playing together when we met Banana.
Maybe. I met Banana through you. No, I met Banana through you. That's right.
Yeah, we were in the same game.
Because I came into the voice chat with all of you. That's right.
You know, because remember the game that we met Banana, everybody on our team was being toxic except for me, and then me and Banana were just being nice to each other.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was so
funny.
Can
we talk about
how
ironic it is that we're friends? Because
I'm so confused at how everyone
the only reason. Okay, first off, so listen. I met this new guy through Gekuu. I met Gekuu, Jay, Gingy, you, Rage, Jaeger, Rainbow. Huh?
I love Gingy. Gingy's so funny.
Yeah, I've met all of them through Banana. And I met Banana when I was with my 3 best friends at the time, just playing on COD. And the reason we became friends is I invited him to our game and he joined. And when he joined, he was like, why am I here? And I was like, I like your accent, so you're going to play with us. And from there, we kept playing. And then I got his Instagram and we started talking. And from there, we became like huge friends. And that's how I met all of you guys. So basically, if I didn't like other accents, I would not have met all of you lovely people. And I love it.
This is
how I love the butterfly effect.
Sexy beach.
I love Banana as well.
Banana's a sexy bitch.
This is the funny part. I met Batbeard in I can't remember. Did I meet you in Wanderbot? I met you in Wanderbot.
It was through Wanderbot, yes.
I met you. I was watching Wanderbot. Y'all were playing, and one day I was playing some game, and you were playing it by yourself. I'm like, hey, you need someone to play with, and when we became friends.
Oh yeah.
and then like
I mean, the thing is, you offered to help a lot. Like, you offered to help with the Discord. You offered to help with subscriber specials. You offered to help with with Scrap Mechanic, all kinds of stuff. all kinds of stuff that I needed help with, to be honest.
Yeah, and we became friends.
I couldn't get rid of you after that.
You tried and you still couldn't.
Oh, excuse me.
That tells you how helpful you were.
Yeah. Because I'm back right where I was
Still
before.
are. In fact, better than ever.
I get food, apparently. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
Sauces are mine, but I screwed up.
All right, yeah. Can I have my straw? Thank you.
I ate too much. I got screwed over with family genetics. I'm Italian, and yet I get heartburn real bad when I eat pasta sauce. So my stomach and throat are like killing me at the moment.
Okay.
J-Dog.
I
love you, J-Dog.
I think that'll
I
bring
told
us.
Yeah, he woke up and I told him to come and chat, so.
You don't respond to me on Discord, but you respond to her. Fuck you, J-Dog.
No.
I think
No,
this
we
kind of
have
leads us into our
messages, my
next
guy.
topic.
No, I love
All right,
J-Dog.
yes.
He's all good.
Yeah, let's go to the next.
So our next topic, I was saying we should try to look at specifics between male and female, and then especially when it comes to streamers, because the
Yes.
way and gamers, because male and female gamers are treated really differently in everything. I've seen it in Apex. I've seen it in, of all places, the happiest community on Earth, except for when it comes to selling and trading Prime items, Warframe. There was a lot of toxicity towards some females in
Wow.
Warframe while I was playing it. But COD and everything. So the toxicity towards females on all platforms
COD's just a piece of shit game.
is so many more levels of worse. But I don't wanna excuse it like it's just them, because the truth is mental health for both genders, or all genders, I don't know what I'm allowed to limit myself to here on Twitch, is different. Right? And I'm not gonna try to talk for a girl, because I ain't one. But I can speak for the guys. Sometimes we get treated pretty poorly. The word simp comes to mind a lot.
TOS.
I can say I'm not calling anyone a simp. I'm allowed to say it. It's as long as I'm not being derogatory with it.
I do want to say
Nugget.
that word gets on my nerves very much, specifically when people say it when a guy's in a relationship. I'm not gonna say the word, but when a guy's in a relationship and they call him that, and I'm like, guys, he's being a good boyfriend.
Yeah,
and
I
How
think
is
that
that
too.
At all what that is.
And like and this
Yeah.
comes down to toxicity in friend groups too, because and this actually, I got this so much during that toxic relationship, which is kind of funny. But I got called a simp a lot during that relationship. And in my opinion, because I don't know how many people in stream actually know this, but guys, we tend to do this: bros before hoes, bros before hoes, bros before hoes, and we'll yell it and yell it and yell it and yell it. Normally, if I'm doing it, it's a complete joke. But some guys are serious, and they'll say it when a guy's in a relationship. And the truth is, guys, it's okay to simp for your girl. Guys, it is okay to choose your
Agreed.
girl over the boys.
Please
Because unless
do
she's
it
a hoe,
more
unless
often,
she's if
please.
it's a hoe, if it's a hoe,
yeah, 100%.
if it's a hoe,
the boys,
but
100%.
like
I have something to say about this, because
Yep.
I'm not going to name any things, but somebody very close to me has a girlfriend that nobody likes in our, like, we have our boys, like our group. We've been friends for God knows how long. This one friend been friends for 13 years, 14 years now, almost. And his girlfriend has tried to break up our relationship multiple times. Multiple times.
That annoys me to all hell.
that's when bros before hoes comes into play.
100%.
This guy is my brother. Okay,
Ooh.
I trust him with my, like, anything. I tell him more than anybody. Like, he is my brother. to hell and back, we're gonna stick together. But that girl has tried to get between us more than I'd say 20 times at this point. So
Yep.
It's, to me, in some cases, yes, treat your girl like at the highest level. If your boys try and get between it, and that girl is respectable and she is somebody you truly love, don't let anybody get between you. But if that girl is trying to break up a friendship that you have had for 95% of your life, like me and him have been friends with since we were 5. And think about that. We're both 18 now. We're both 18. And she's tried to break up our friendship for the past 2 years.
You know, it also, like, it feels to me that she senses a rival and is trying to eliminate a rival. That no one can be more important to my boy than me, and definitely not his boy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem, because if they've got those wires crossed, what other wires are crossed down the road?
Yep.
And
so
I'm not really gonna try and say anything. I don't even know if he is watching. If he is, he already knows my opinion on the whole situation. But she's not a good person either. She's, in my opinion, manipulative. Like, very. She does what he wants. Like, so she does what he likes, but not for him, if you know what I mean. Like, it's, I don't know how to, I really don't know how to say it, but she's doing stuff so he doesn't leave her. It's hard to talk about. I don't really know what to say about it.
I understand.
But it's not a good situation, and I don't want him to get hurt, but I'm always going to be there for him if he does. So it's one of those situations.
Yep. Just got to wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's tough.
So I wanted to add, I feel like seeing girls like that makes me go crazy, because it's like, I don't even see the reasoning in that. If your guy bothers you that much to have friends, then you need to leave and like reevaluate your entire life situation. Like, I have my rules, and those specifically are, if you had this specific set of boys before we started dating, they're above me 100%. If there's a person I don't want you to talk to, I'm A, gonna have a reason, and B, I will never tell you not to talk to them. I will come to you and be like, hey, this person makes me uncomfortable. This is why. Here's what happened. And then I'm gonna be like, okay, you handle it. You can either be like, hey, go to your friend and be like, hey, stop doing this, it makes her uncomfortable. Or you can be like, no. And I'll be like, okay, I'll deal with that then. Because these are your friends. They were here before me. I have no right to come up to you and say, hey, don't hang out with them anymore. And I feel like girls that do that are just so insecure. And I am too. But like, that's borderline abusive. Like, that's literally step one into how to be an abusive partner, is to isolate them.
No, that's exactly
that's
what happened to me.
That's like the main step.
And like, you know, we're talking about mental health. I think you know, I see it a lot more too, and I've seen it a lot more. You know, it used to be in COD too, especially, that, you know, it was all fun team banter. Now, when I hear people on my team and on the other team telling me to KYS or calling me names of every type and genre, they fucking mean it. And it really fucks up people's mental health. I'm not a mean person by all partisan, but I have interacted with mean people, and it's caused me to be a little bit mean.
I can be mean if I want to.
And like, I think what it comes down to is,
I
like,
agree.
Men have been demonized by other men and by women, and women have been demonized by men. And so, on that note,
And
I
also
want
other
to
women.
I want to try to pull. I'm gonna pull in. Fuck. Let me look at the thing. I'm gonna pull in Nugget so that we're not singing out Wolfie here on this one, but I want to let the girls talk about their perspective on when it comes down to the female side of this whole mental health issue. I invited you to speak, Nugget.
Yeah, you gotta click. You gotta go up to the top and click accept.
Yeah. There you go.
I couldn't figure it out for like a while. Hey, there you
All
go.
right, so
Hello, Nugget.
so we're gonna give y'all the floor here and let y'all talk about y'all's side. Don't go too far. You know Twitch's rules.
Yep.
Well, a point I wanted to bring up real quick because we're talking about the male side, how male are so mean girls on the game. Well, what about how girls are so mean to other girls on the game? And I think that's a big point because that's the one that hurt the most for me personally. Because I mean, as soon as you get especially Call of Duty, which is my main game, as soon as you get in this game, you get hated on by other guys, and you get used to it right away. So you kind of build a shield up, and you don't care anymore. But when a girl attacks me, still to this day, after a year playing this game, it still hurts.
Yep.
Way more.
I agree. I 100% agree because I think what it is the guys are predictable. They say the same stuff. It's go back to the kitchen, make me a sandwich. It's like the same things, and I'm so used to it. It's just like another word to me. But when a girl comes in, it's usually when she's with her guy friends and she's so protective over them. And the second you say anything, she'll start going at you. And when girls go at girls, it is not pretty at all. And still to this day, it will get to me 100 times harder than if a guy could say anything.
Yeah,
So
Guys just say stupid shit. Half the guys don't have a fucking brain in COD, so.
Well, guys have 3 templates: sandwich, dishwasher, and whore. That's the template. They don't go further from that.
I literally could give a shit less if you're a girl and you're gaming. Go right ahead. I love gamers. Just go straight ahead. It's the pieces of shit that talk shit to everyone. Specifically girls. Like if a dude's talking shit specifically to a girl just because she is a girl, that pisses me off. Not because I'm like, oh, it's a girl, I gotta protect her. No, there's no reason to. They're just trying to play the game and have fun. That's what everybody plays games for.
There was a instance that happened to me that describes this perfectly. It was within my first couple months of COD, and I was actually doing really good one round. And I killed someone, it was the last kill, and I hadn't unmuted, and he went, "Hey man, nice shot." And I unmuted and said, "Thanks." That's all I said. And his response to that was, "Oh, you're a girl? I hope your dad blanked you as a child." That was his response to me saying, "Thank you." His entire demeanor changed. And I was like, wow. Literally because I said one word and I sounded like a girl.
Yeah. I don't know if the guys here can confirm because I know you're all pretty men, but do you think this comes down to insecurity about a girl being better than you?
In most cases, yes.
Definitely. There's a bit of that. I think on the other side, I mean, who knows what makes a toxic person toxic, but they have a lot of ooze that they're oozing out, and they're just taking it out on you.
It's more grease than ooze because most of them are grease balls.
So I have so many reasons that they could do that. And my biggest ones are what she said. Girls they're scared girls are going to be better. Or a girl has done something in the past. I've known so many guys that are complete assholes to girls because their mom left. They've been cheated on multiple times. And it's just gotten to the point, like, same thing with us. I am to the point, I don't like men because of how bad they've treated me. Obviously, to you guys, I absolutely love you. I will always give someone a chance. But it's like, for me, if a woman does something bad, I will give her chances. If a man does something bad, they're out. I'm not like dealing with that anymore because of how bad I've been treated by men in the past. And I think it's the exact same thing for men towards women.
It's understandable.
Yeah, it is. It kind of is the same both ways. There are a lot of men that if a woman does one thing wrong, they're done with them. And It's just
I've
that's
had
how it
so many.
works to be human.
Yeah,
Sorry to
I've
cut out.
had
Can
so many
someone check
instances.
out that comment in the chat, please?
And that's
Yep.
when I
Which
start
one?
going on.
The Joker.
Oh yeah, the one above it. Gekuu.
Joker, hey, no. I love you, Jay, but you can't be saying that in chat. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just remove that. Okay.
But I totally agree with that. Like your past is always gonna affect your present, your future, and if you've been treating same thing. If you go to like every time you go to a coffee shop, the fucking bartender like that the person serving you is always rude to you. Well, you're gonna be every time you're gonna go there. Whoever is serving you, you're gonna be like,
Exactly.
you're not gonna like them because one of them was rude to you. Yeah.
That's
So it
right.
transfers to different aspect to your
And
life.
another thing that I've seen happen a lot on COD is when they want to be friends and I simply am like, no thanks, I only like accept friend requests from people I know, or when they ask for my Snap and I turn them down. They ask for my Instagram, I turn them down. And they will go from being like super nice and like defending you to like cussing you out and throwing obscenities at you. And I'm like, it's because I said no. It's because I won't give you my Snap. How sad is that?
Something like that happened with me today. So I was playing COD. I had gotten back at like this was the first day I've legitimately played COD for over a half an hour in a day, like in like a week and a half maybe. And I was in a game and I met this girl. We were playing super chill. They were on the other team. Every round we were like, oh yeah, good round, blah blah blah. Some guy on my team was like, yo, you want to add me? And she said no. He went off. He just started being a complete dick. And after the games, like after we got into 2 lobbies, like one after another, and the guy wasn't in the second lobby, and she was on my team the next game, and we got to talking. Super chill person, bro. Like we added each other on Discord, and now we're probably gonna play later. Like it's a way to make friends if you're just nice to them. You don't have to be a dick, and if they don't want to be your friend, just let it go. It's a person on an online game. You don't have to be persistent about it unless it's like it like you, not even unless it's like anything. Just don't be persistent if they say no. You're a random person to them. So
Yep.
And they would never do that in real life. They would never. Nobody would do what they're doing in the game in real life.
See, that's I've got a contradictory statement.
The complete opposite because
I have to contradict your statement there because I literally saw it the other night. Like last night, I was having a bad day. I went on a walk down to the bottom of a trailer park. I saw a pretty sunset. Want to take a picture. Walked past the basketball court, and a couple of high schoolers were doing it to a couple of high school girls. They were all out on the court. Yep. And I walked by and I said, the 2 of them were wrestling, 2 of them were messing with the girls, and I heard what they were saying, and as I walked by, I realized what they're saying, and I spun around and I said, hey, you know, you can have a little respect and not do that. They're clearly trying to tell you to fuck off. And then I turned around and walked away. And but yeah, no, they do it in real life. It's just not as common because they know what can and will happen in real life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the game is a lot more forgiving.
Yep.
Too forgiving, to be honest.
Yeah, true.
Whereas people in real life, there's been so many, like too many cases of a girl simply turning a guy down and he literally kills her. What is that?
Yeah.
That's called a psychopath.
Yeah, that's called a psychopath.
You have to.
That's not very common.
Real life
happens.
Yes, in real life, and it even still like lower stakes things happen than that. You know, still I'm scared to this day to turn a guy down in real life because he could go outside and wait by my car to like jump me. He
Honestly,
could
I'm just
go
afraid
tell
to talk
rumors.
to girls at this point.
I turned a guy down one time. He asked.
Me too.
All he did was ask if I would eat lunch with him, and I said no. I already promised my best friend I would eat lunch with her. And he went around and talked to one of my exes who ended up giving him pictures of me, and he ended up spreading those all around school because I said no to eating lunch with him. And that's the world we live in. You just need to be nice to men no matter what they say, because if not, you risk everything.
And that, that's complete bullshit. And I think we've kind of made our point.
that is
I think
unfair.
we've made our points clear here that everyone that no matter what we say, everyone's got it pretty hard from both perspectives.
Hmm?
And
I completely agree.
The big problem with the lack of rejection, I guess we could talk about this forever. But the big problem is that our society represents, if you look at movies and you look at TV, there's no representation for properly accepting a rejection.
Yeah, it's
agree.
all
That's true.
obsession.
It's all about obsession, and it's all about pursuing it until you're together. And then, well, they won't they, but then they do. They always do.
Yeah.
They never don't.
From experience, for me, I've been rejected more times than I can count on 10 fingers. And each time, it's not the same girl. That's all I have to say. It's a different girl, and it's not like I'm chasing something that is obviously not going to happen. I don't, especially if it's going to make that girl uncomfortable, I don't want that to happen. I would rather be your friend than make you uncomfortable and risk anything else, like anything going further, if you know what I mean.
And like another thought that just popped through my head is societal convenience and like the convenience of your friends, because so and I want to put it out there. I've noticed, because, and I've seen it a lot, and I've seen it in my own trailer park with these high schoolers that live around here. As someone who does go outside sometimes, you wouldn't believe it because of the way I stream and the way I play games, but I touch grass sometimes. Anyway.
Wow.
What? I did not know that.
Anyway, is that we as humans tend to fight over people. I have seen guys get in physical fights on this basketball court out here, like high schoolers, over a girl. And I'm just like, is anyone going to stop this? I know we're in the middle of the country, but they're fighting over a girl. And I've literally walked up, slammed my arm between them, and said, "What are you doing?" If you are... And they're like, "Oh, we're friends, and we like this girl." And I said, "Fine, neither of you get her. It's simple. If you can't exist with your friend without fighting over loving someone, then you shouldn't be friends at all, right?"
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't. Neither of you should get her.
My thing is, why not put that in the girls' court? Because if she's sitting by, if she knows you both like her, and she's letting you fight each other for her, she doesn't care about either of you. So go find yourself someone better. That's where I'm at. Because as a girl, I've wanted to fight girls over a guy. And then I'm realizing I shouldn't have to do that. He should already be like, back off, I have a girlfriend or I have a crush. And if he's not doing that, he ain't the one.
And like, and then on top of, when your friend really likes someone, but you really like that person too, right? Or when you find out that you really like someone and no, they really like your friend. How do you react in this situation? How do you react to them? Because like, I've had it happen in my life, and I know people have had it happen in theirs. And my friends have had it happen in theirs, where a friend gets told something like you like them, and then they run off and tell that person. I actually had it happen pretty recently. Come to find out, my feelings in that situation were caused by a completely different issue that was caused by trauma. But this person who I thought I could trust, I told them something that I wanted to be kept secret, and they ran off and told that person. That person got mad at me. But, flip side, they told me the same thing I told them. And I wasn't about to go tell. I was like, well, I made a deal. I made a promise. And I actually was talking to someone else, and that person ended up telling them. And, but we fight over people for no reason, because if someone is going to let you fight over them, they don't want either of you. I'm sorry to,
Or they're just toxic people.
Yep, that's what I was saying.
Or they're just toxic.
And if you look at society, really, we fight over anything. We will find any reason to fight each other at this point.
That's why I just don't like people anymore.
I have seen it over
me.
Physical,
I have my
just
group
random
and I'm good
items.
to go.
So I don't even. Yeah.
I got my group. I got Oso Havoc.
Yep.
I got Two Time. I got everybody in here. I'm good to go. I don't need nobody else. I got you guys. I'm good.
Yep.
Y'all are awesome. So.
And I think tying that back to mental health. Me personally, I never got to say how I think I might have. I can't remember. Another way my mental health affects my streaming is I told Gekuu earlier today, I started streaming and I had the I have the word in the back of my head, but I wanted to get big, but I never wanted to get big by myself. I wanted to have a group of people because I find that more interesting than watching people run through games by themselves. I find it more interesting. I would rather watch this one group of people lose a game of COD over and over and over again if they're having fun, if they're funny, and they're having fun together, and they're lighthearted. That's all I care about. And I just wanted my group of people to be there. And like we were talking about earlier, how people can get into bad places in life and take that out on other people. Instead, I want us to get in bad places in life and have each other to build us back up and just be there and be able to tell you, hey, it's okay. How about instead of focusing on this, we jump on COD and you gotta be crackheads together.
You gotta have the if you tell someone that they're your friend, you gotta be willing to have their six. And we see that a lot too, and that affects mental health is the backstabbing. I've been backstabbed a million times in my life, right? Sometimes they won't show it, and this is me being vulnerable here. My back's bloody as hell. There's a million knives in it, and I know Bats is pretty bloody, and I know everyone in here, their back might be a little bloody. And here's what I had to tell you: if you're in this chat, holy mother of God, if you're in this chat hanging out with us as we talk about this, if your back's bloody and you need someone to talk to you, ! Discord. You're welcome to message me, because I know how it feels. And when it comes down to it, darn tootin', it sucks. Mental health hurts. This is me trying to kind of wrap up a little bit because we're hitting about 2 hours here. Mental health sucks. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to handle. But you got to surround yourself with people who are going to be supportive. And yeah, you're going to lose people. And yeah, people are going to backstab you. You got to get up. You got to move on. And sometimes you break or you mess up. That's all right. You're human, right? Don't let someone get to you because the honest truth is that sometimes you just need someone to be there and have your six, even when it doesn't feel like they should. Like I'm gonna kind of call it my with Wolfie. I knew she hasn't been having a great week. So I was like, good morning, what's up? Here's a picture of a sunset. Have fun with it. And then I talked to her for a while and just had a conversation. And I said, hey, you okay? You doing all right? And I just talked. And I was the only person awake. And I was gonna go do stuff. I was put down the phone and go do stuff. She's like, you're the only person awake. And I'm like, all right, I'll just take my phone with me then, right? You've got to have your friends' backs, because if you don't have your friends' backs, who are you to expect them to have your back? And whether or not they do, you shouldn't, and I'm not saying do it to the point where you're being toxic for yourself, because I've done that. It's not safe. Don't do that. But if you believe someone is going to have your six, and you really believe it, you got to have theirs, or it's unfair. It's not right. Because I know how it feels to be there for everyone else, and then when the moment comes that I finally break and I'm on my knees crying, I've had no one there. Or they said, oh, I'm too busy. I'm not worried about you. Thanks for the help, but I'm not willing to help you. Knife, 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 right?
Yep.
And sometimes people leave our life who are important to us, and we have to cope with that. But what I gotta tell you, chat, is you are strong, you are mighty, The world might be a brick wall, but screw it, be a wrecking ball.
I'm shaped like a wrecking ball, so.
Anyone else have some finishing thoughts here?
I was just gonna say really
What's your
quick.
thoughts on
Um,
Texas?
Go ahead. Go first.
Oh, I was gonna say really quick. You don't have to go through it alone, because I know that before this week I convinced myself I did, because anytime I spoke up about anything, I would lose people or I'd immediately get shut down. And I told myself as this started happening that I was gonna go through it alone because I had to, and I don't think Gekuu is gonna let that happen now. So
Nope.
you just have to find your people. And it helps so much more. And it's still gonna hurt like hell. And you're still gonna wish it wasn't happening. But it'll be a little bit bearable, at least. More than it was before. That's all I got.
I was going to talk about a resource. One of the things that has helped me the most in my journey with mental health is Feeling Good by Dr. David D. Burns. Look that up on Amazon. You can get a book for probably about $7. It's really cheap and it's really good. It taught me a lot about CBT therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy has helped me identify my cognitive distortions, the thoughts that punish me, and it has enabled me to get rid of them. And I practice that daily, just all the time. If I have a thought that is from my mental illness, I can identify it and say, this is from my mental illness. It is an attack on me. It is not a deserved attack. I do not need to listen to it, and I'm able to fend it off.
One thing that I know how you're talking about resources. This is a resource I feel like most people can turn to, is music. If you have songs that you listen to that make you feel good, listen to them. That's what I do.
Go ahead.
If you're listening to those songs, like there's certain songs that even will make me cry. The person that nobody ever sees cry, there's songs that will make me cry, and it's okay to cry to music. It allows you to let things out. If you
I guess
know what
that's
I mean.
one more important point before we end, especially with the guys, because I know my entire life I was taught that it's okay to cry, right? Because I had a good, strong grandfather to teach me, but a lot of us are taught and we're almost physically pounded,
getting bullied,
almost physically pounded into us that men don't cry, right? Crying isn't okay.
Yeah.
Public displays of emotion aren't okay. And I am here to tell you, Bats is here to tell you, Wolf is here to tell you. Hell, you could go ask Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie. 75% of those big, OGs, right? They will tell you that it is okay to cry. It is okay.
I can't count how many times Markiplier's cried on video. Like
there are a lot.
He's represented.
I love Markiplier in that sense.
I love him in that sense. Yeah.
And as a streamer, I like to try to be pretty open, but there are things you will never know. There are things about me that the only people that will ever know are people like Wolfie, people like Kitten. And but y'all have seen it multiple times in the past few months. I just drop on camera. I will drop like this, and then I'll hit my BRB screen, and I'll be done. But it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it. And if someone tells you that it's not okay to talk about it, you tell them to go fuck themselves. And you go find someone else to talk to it about. Because... Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
You first.
What? Okay. I was going to say, last thing from me, this brought it up. I just wanted to say to anyone, no matter you have 2 million mental illnesses or you don't even have one, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be absolutely broken. And it's okay not to have a reason why. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You can lay in your bed or sit in the shower and cry for hours and not have a single reason why, and that is okay.
I think a good music resource, if you're looking for songs that talk about a lot of mental health, just to listen to and kind of help support you, and maybe even some of the videos that he talks about. Citizen Soldier, his songs are really important. I've done a few TikToks with his sounds. One of his songs, the lines go, one that he's actually about to come out with. It goes, "If I told you the things that I tell to my bedroom ceiling, would you have me committed for the things I'm feeling?" And so he's talking about how sometimes the best place to just let it out is laying in bed staring up at the ceiling. And how a lot of those things that we will just shout out in our bed, laying and looking at the ceiling, those are things that if we told anybody, they would tell us, "You've got to go to the mental hospital." They would commit us.
Yep.
But it's important to not be okay. And if you aren't okay and you need to talk about it and you do not have anybody, my Discord is in the description. You can always come to me. I may not always be able to respond to you. I may not always have the answers, but I promise that even if I am not online, as soon as I come back online, I will see your message and I will respond in some way, form, or fashion, even if it's just, "Hey, I get it, man. You're welcome to talk." I don't know. But we're getting pretty far in. I don't want to make this too long because I do eventually want to try to upload some of these to Spotify here. But as we end, I just want to note that in chat, I've placed some resources that you can find online. One of these resources is actually Brian, or better known as Batbeard. It's a channel he made about 5 years ago where he talks kind of about his story and about some coping mechanisms that he learned through that time. Through that time. And it's really strong. And actually, I do want to mention one thing that for his introduction, one thing that I know happens a lot when you have mental illness, especially bipolar disorder, is one of the biggest things that can happen is you can go manic. And in his introduction with this channel, and I'm actually going to bring it up and let you guys listen to it.
Share some of the best coping skills that I have learned and developed. So now I'd like to talk about what it is to be
bipolar. It's 5 years ago.
As well as share
so sweet,
some of the best coping
skills
that
you're cute.
I have learned and developed.
Whoa.
So now I'd like to talk about what it is to be bipolar.
Hey, gotta support the homies, bro.
From my perspective.
Of course.
As well as from a medical perspective, as best as I understand it.
I think that was my first video, recorded.
Days since I turned 17 that I did not
ever on the internet.
Jay.
That I felt like
holy shit.
Better than myself.
Oh my god.
Kind of more powerful being than.
So what he's saying here is, you say that you feel something better than yourself, a more powerful being.
Human.
Yeah, more than human.
And it was very frightening.
My camera on this stream right now, it looks more than human.
So bad.
and then you go on to talk about how when you came back down, it was extremely frightening. And guys, I did post that.
It is extremely frightening.
I posted this link into chat. And if you can't see it, it's a wonderful Lift TV. It's in the chat. It's a great resource. When Bat first kind of had it out there, I actually watched when I met him, I watched up to what he had posted. And it really helped me. And it's helped me throughout the years. I've gone back to it quite a few times just to see, okay, what things in here that I said I was going to work on, have I made it to? Have I completed those things? And I can say gladly today that every single thing that I pulled from those videos that I wanted to work on, I've done it. I have done it. I fuck up sometimes, but I've done it. Right? Sometimes your darkness comes out. I've seen this man shaved. This man does not look the same without a beard.
What?
Yes, he has.
James?
He probably looks like me.
One time.
One time.
One time.
But you know, it's one of those things where mental health, it's a big topic. We could do 4 or 5 episodes and only hit on mental health. And we could go on for another 3 hours about mental health. But I kind of want to wrap it up here. So in closing, you have resources, you've got people, and remember, it's okay, and especially for the younger people in chat. I know I've got some really young people in here. I've got NJ, I know you're in here, buddy. And even the older people. It is okay if your parents or your grandparents, they want to listen, it's okay to tell them. You don't have to tell them everything. But it's okay to tell them that you're struggling. Because sometimes the only way they can help you to get the help you need is if you speak up. You know, speak up and say, hey, Mom, I'm feeling depressed. Or, hey, Mom, I'm feeling really anxious. Hey, Mom, I can't stop shaking. Hey, Mom, I'm scared. Hey, Mom, I don't know what to do. And so I think in closing, my last thing here is a lot of us had trouble through the COVID pandemic. Me personally, after 2 years ago, I lost my mentor. I really had 2 mentors. During COVID, I lost my second mentor, my mentor's wife, and my grandfather, all within about a month period of each other. And this is kind of hitting on when I was talking about it's okay to not be okay. I broke. I was in a call with some friends, and I was trying to put away the obituaries so that they weren't on my desk. And I broke. I absolutely just bawled my eyes out. And that's okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to speak up. And if you don't feel safe speaking up directly to your family, there are resources online. You know, look up help in your county, in your country. I've posted one of the things that has been going through the chat is opencounseling.com/suicide hotlines. That has the suicide hotlines for every country in the world that has one listed.
But if you just don't want to talk, something that helped me a lot is just writing it.
Yeah, and journaling. You know, she's right. Journaling helps a lot.
I lift weights. It's wonderful. It becomes a positivity moment.
You know what? Hitting on weights, actually.
Actually, speaking of that, I beat my personal record today.
Nice.
I was proud of myself.
That's good.
I don't think
I
can't back up in chat far enough. But you know how I was talking about in school, I was really, really bullied. And I'm going to talk about this because it was a big boost to my mental health when I started streaming. There's a streamer on here. Y'all definitely go check it out. If I have someone in chat who knows how to do it and is a mod, if you could do SOY Gladiator. Y Gladiator is someone I knew from school. He was a football player. He came through and he said, hey, man, so cool to see you podcasting. You're going to do great things. I'm so proud of you, brother. I got to go lift weights. I got to go work out now. I'll see you later. I'll keep you in the background. That's one of his coping mechanisms. And when we left high school, he was not a small guy. He was a pretty big guy. I have watched him go from very heavy to decently light and very muscly. But something that really stuck out to me that really affected my outlook on mental health was I was in his chat one day, and we were kind of having some deep talks. We were doing some deep talks, and I was talking about some stuff, and he looked straight into the camera, and he said to me, he said my name. Anyone who doesn't know my name's Eddie. Nice to meet you guys. But he said, Eddie, I am sorry for the way I acted in high school. I acted out of want to keep my friends. He apologized live on stream for about as many viewers we have right now. That meant a lot to me. So remember that even years after, if you feel you should apologize, it's always okay to apologize. Even if that person has forgiven you, right? So in closing, get yourself good people in your life. And if someone is good for you and a good person to have around, but they're mean to you, it's okay to let them go. If they're good for you, they will return. So in closing, it's okay to not be okay. We are all, I think for the most part, if you really need resources or something, you're welcome to message one of us.
Yeah, come on.
On screen.
Yeah, I'm always
I
around.
will
My sleep schedule's
talk to anyone at any point in time.
If you
I'm
DM me on Discord.
I'm normally around. If I'm not around, I'm probably asleep. And there's very few sounds that'll wake me in my sleep. But
if me and Gekuu are asleep, I almost guarantee that Wolf will probably be awake.
Guaranteed. I can absolutely guarantee you
Guaranteed one of us will be awake. So don't worry.
That somebody in this group will be awake.
Absolutely. There is one of us on alert at all times for you guys specifically.
Just because we're crackheads who are and insomniacs. But
and none of us have good sleeping schedules.
So we're gonna try to push out here, guys. Thank you all who came out. We've probably seen an average of about maybe 14 today, which is actually up from last time.
Yeah.
So we're definitely gonna keep going here. As we let off, I have one thing I want to show you guys that actually Wolfie sent me here. So it's a TikTok here. I'm gonna refresh the page and I'm gonna let you guys watch it. I'm gonna click on it, everything, try to bring it up a little bigger. So here you guys go. As we exit off, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for listening to our bullshit. We love you guys. We've got you guys. If some of my mods or somebody could give just exclamation mark hug, but just exclamation mark hug the entire chat. Let's give the chat a big old hug.
I always mention distraction being the best.
I'll do it.
Form of therapy.
We can all do it.
I want to say something funny. Not really funny. I've been listening to one song this whole podcast on repeat, and it's gonna sound pretty like bandwagony, but "Moon" by Kanye, the song on his new album, is actually so vibey. I've been listening the whole time on repeat, so for about 2 hours and 30 minutes now.
Damn.
It's a good song.
Nice.
So.
Thank you, Gekuu, for scrolling off my comment.
Gekuu, do you have any idea for next?
I think next week
I have ideas.
I'm not sure what we're gonna do next week. We may hit on new games coming out or something. It'll definitely be announced in the Freefall Discord.
I was begging you to do a spooky podcast, but we should probably do that closer to Halloween. I'm guessing.
I think in October we'll probably we'll do one on some spooky games. We'll darken everything out. We'll lighten the mood. and
I got some scary stories of my own, so I'll do it.
Of course, there's a lot of topics we can hit on. If you join the Discord, I'm gonna make a topic suggestion channel. Toss your topic suggestions in there, and we'll look at them.
What'd you say, by the way, Nuggy?
I said Wulfezz already has the tone because he's like his room is always so dark.
Yeah, I love the dark.
But so what Boothiful was trying to saying there is that distraction tends to be the everyone's best coping mechanism, which is true. I've put it in my own TikToks. I've talked to other people where gaming is my distraction. It really is. And when I meet people like Wolfie and Batbeard and Wulfezz, and Wolf and Joker, I met Joker because of COD. You know, I met J-Dog because of COD. Pretty much everyone you see hugging around in chat right now, I know because I was playing COD because of that way how I expressed my outing. You know, stream has always been kind of the way I expressed myself, and so you guys, it's amazing to have you guys here to listen to us just talk and try to help you guys out. So y'all remember that you are loved, you're cared about, and you're wanted. And if you don't feel wanted, it's okay to ask for help and to ask somebody if they could try to be your friend, right? If you don't, you know, and I am a very nice person. So if you come into my Discord, you come into the Freefall Discord and you tag me and say, hey, you want to play a game? If I have that game, I may just come play it with you. I love playing games. And I love people. People are cool. So thank you guys so much for coming out. It means the world to us that you guys want to listen to us some of the smaller guys. You know, you could be out there watching, you know, whoever, but you're here with us talking about mental health or whatever else we get up to. So thank you guys for coming out. We will definitely see you guys next week. And until then, remember,
stay fallen.
Remember, sometimes you just got to take a deep dive into the rabbit hole of gaming. Peace out, everyone. We'll see you next time.